Welcome back. Now, there was a time, if someone had mentioned to you a sort of network of cycle paths around Britain all linked up, you'd have looked at them like they were one sprocket short of a cassette. However, the National Cycle Network does exist. It's about to celebrate a bit of a landmark, so we sent Rebecca to check it out in the West Country.
Bath is one of the country's most historic cities, and one of the best ways to see its collection of fine architecture is by bike. And so I've come to see the city's cycle culture for myself, and in particular to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the beginnings of the National Cycle Network. The National Cycle Network now links every major town and city in the UK. The driving force behind its creation was Sustrans, the organisation whose vision is to see more journeys made by bike, foot or public transport.
Well, what we wanted to demonstrate was that if you build great public space that says you are welcome here if you're walking or if you're on a bike, that clearly we wanted to demonstrate that if you did that, people would choose to leave their car behind and get out more on foot and bike. About 50% of us live within a mile of it, and you can find out details from our website as to how to get on it. And it passes through major towns, cities, it passes through villages. It is a massive network, it's about 14,000 miles long.
Now joining Paralympic cyclist David Stone MBE to take on one of the most interesting parts of the NCN. You ready to roll?
Definitely, what a lovely afternoon.
It's incredible. I didn't know what to expect when we were coming down here today.
It's stunning. I think it's just over a mile long. It's apparently one of the longest in the UK.
Now we stopped exactly halfway down the tunnel because I don't know how well you can hear that, but there's actually classical music playing. How cool is that?
Very cool, but I reckon they could do with some drum and bass in here.
Maybe it wouldn't be quite so serene though.
Serene, but then we get people pending fast.
My eyes are just adjusting now.
My arms are warming up.
A bit chilly there, didn't it? Going back to your childhood, how difficult were the challenges you faced with cerebral palsy?
To feel comfortable with my disability, it took a long time, and the bike provided a big escape.
How important do you think it is to have a resource like that to join a safe network to get people on bikes?
It gives people the freedom to explore the country. Like me, you can just hire a bike, hire a helmet, and go off and explore for the day in lovely countryside. And then the bike has given me the opportunity to go around the country, around Europe, Australia, and speak. And it's given me great confidence.
Right, well, I think we should hit the pub garden.
I'm up for that.
Let's go.
Happy birthday to the National Cycle Network. Next, an international cyber network. You might have heard of it. It's called Zwift, and here to explain all about it is CEO, founder, Eric Min. Good to see you, Eric. Tell us about Zwift, how it works, and where the idea came from.
Well, the idea came from me actually riding indoors quite a bit. I live in central London, busy life, and just trying to get out of central London is difficult. So I've been riding indoors quite a bit. In fact, I've been doing it for many years. And
just on a turbo trainer?
On a turbo trainer, you know, looking at CNN or watching videos, and it just dawned on me that it's been 20 years since they've introduced virtual reality for cycling. It really hasn't advanced. So I thought, God, wouldn't it be great if we can do some of the things that Strava has done and bring it into a video game platform.
So people have it, they have a trainer, or they can do it on rollers, and they hook it up to a computer, and then they have, well, what we can see here on the screen, they have an avatar they can see pedaling through a virtual world. Where are they now?
Well, we decided to pick an island in the South Pacific.
Okay.
And the reason for that is we know that we won't be competing with real segments. People can do their rides and they can upload it to Strava because it will have real geolocation. But everything on that island, in our game, is fictitious. So it's our course. And we know that if a certain shape on Strava, for example, we know it's Watopia.
Yeah, you mentioned Strava, so people can load up their rides to Strava to show where they've been, how long they've done, etc., etc. And they can become, the king of the mountain on some of the climbs and that sort of thing. So it's mimicking the real world as much as possible. How far has it got to go? Because it's not entirely like the real world, of course. Can you ride with friends? Can you stop and get off and explore? Can you have a coffee, etc., etc.?
Absolutely. So it's a 9-kilometer circuit. You can meet your friends at the start. I ride regularly with friends back in the US. I live in London. We organize group rides, and you can choose from a number of different bicycles that we have on offer. You have to earn them, which is good. We have clothing, different brands, and you earn these by riding on Zwift.
And this rider here in the green jersey, so they're the best sprinter in the game at the moment.
That's correct. He has the fastest split in the last hour. You can only hold that for an hour, and then you have to give it up, which means you have to try again to be the best.
I appreciate when you started it, it was just to make your experience of riding on a home trainer more enjoyable. Do you find that people are just riding on Zwift instead of going out and riding in the real world?
Well, so this is interesting. Cycling is a seasonal activity. And what we aim to do is take seasonality out of cycling. So if you like to ride a bike, you can do that 12 months out of the year. We see Zwift as a complement to outdoor. We all love to ride outdoors, but it's always not very convenient, whether it's because of traffic or light issue or just scheduling issues.
Yeah. And one more thing, what is very interesting is you're seeing a number of people who are logging on, not to ride, but just to watch people like this guy go round and round a virtual world.
Right. This goes back to really the gaming industry. It's become, watching the top players play on video games is a form of entertainment, and it's no different on Zwift. People do log in. We are going to make some enhancements so that when you're riding, we can tell you how many people are actually looking at you, and that gives you the extra motivation to keep pedaling.
With it being immersive like that, do you find that when you're using it, you almost forget that you're sitting in your spare room on a turbo trainer?
I certainly think so. I can tell you that our community, before they get on their bike, they think about which bike they're going to ride today, what kit they're going to wear, and then they do the ride with friends. And when they're done, they're sharing all that on social. So there's a lot of engagement that goes with Zwift.
Eric, thanks so much for coming in and explaining how Zwift works. Well, coming up after the break, I'm going to have a go myself. The beauty is you can ride with friends wherever in the world they may be. So, coming up, I'm going to be riding with Jens Voigt, even though he's at the Tour de France. Don't go away.